What's up guys, I'm Jeff from Worldwide Cyclery, and we talk about carbon wheels a lot on this channel, and one of the common questions we get is what are the differences between them. So today we're taking three of our most popular and favorite ones and kind of going back to back with them, doing some timed runs and diving into exact little finite differences between them. So the three wheel sets that we used for this test were some of the most common ones and the ones we like the most, and ones that we've already previously put a bunch of content out there on. So if you want to dive into any of these wheel sets, check the links below in the video description. We did a video review on the Crank Brothers and the Zipps and a blog article on the E13 wheels. What these are: Crank Brothers E11s Synthesis, Zipp 3.0 Motos, and E13 LG1R ENs. The biggest differences between these wheels, they're all carbon rims. What's happened these days in the carbon wheel market is as it's evolved, carbon's got stronger, everyone's come to the plate with lifetime warranties, which is really cool. And as of recently, the biggest sort of latest and greatest thing in carbon wheel technology is compliance. And Crank Brothers and Zipp are sort of leading the pack there. Zipp's wheel is a single wall rim, and it's really made to have this thing they call ankle compliance, which it's made to pivot around so that it just has that ability to stay on track and not feel too stiff. I think one of the things that happened when carbon wheels started getting more popular is it got really big and boxy, and in order to make them as strong as people wanted them, they just layered on more and more carbon, made them even more boxy, and then they became these super stiff rims that made you sort of chatter around. And as they've evolved, now they're getting more compliant and just as strong, and sort of finding that perfect balance between stiffness and compliance. And the Crank Brothers Synthesis wheels are doing the same type of concept. They're not single wall, they still do have a box section. However, their idea is having a little bit different tuned compliance in your front wheel as opposed to your rear wheel, which is pretty cool. So check the video out on that to dive more into how those are going on. Zipp has the same rim front and rear, and then again, this is really all about compliance for these two brands. E13 in our eyes is probably one of the better box section rims. It's still definitely stiffer than both of these, and what we wanted to do is swap these out on a bike, do back-to-back runs, see maybe what's faster, how they actually feel on the trail, and kind of just give you guys, a lot of it's a little bit qualitative, right? You can only do so much sort of quantitative scientific research on these things, but a lot of it's putting them on the bike, riding them back-to-back, seeing how they feel, and then just seeing what it's like out there with these on the exact same bike, same trail, same tires, everything like that. And that is exactly what Liam did out here, and so yeah, check that out.
Hey, what's up guys? My name's Liam from Worldwide Cyclery, and today we're out here doing a carbon wheel comparison. So we have three different styles of carbon wheels. We have the E13 LG1R EN wheels. These are going to be E13's carbon enduro wheel offering. Uses a traditional box section rim. Then we have the Crank Brothers Synthesis E11 wheels. These are more of kind of in the middle of the carbon wheels we're going to be testing. So the front wheel is tuned to be more compliant, while the back wheel is tuned to be more stiff. So it's kind of right in the middle. And then the third set we have is the Zipp 3.0 Moto wheels. These are going to be, can you hear the train?
Fuck you, train! Fuck you!
Coming back, we have the Zipp 3.0 Moto wheels. These are a single-walled, very compliant wheel. So it's supposed to be able to flex both ways, kind of like your ankle, and that's the most compliant wheel set we have. So all 6 wheels are wrapped with WTB Trail Boss tires, light, fast casing, so they're all the same, all consistent with all 180 rotors and X01 Eagle cassettes. So everything should be pretty similar besides the wheels, and we're going to do timed runs on a short, about 2-minute track. So it'll be timed runs along with my impressions after each ride. We'll be doing 2 runs of each wheel set, so we'll definitely be able to get a solid test out here today.
Coming in!
All right, so we just got done doing 2 laps on the Zipp 3.0 Moto, and these are the most compliant wheels we got going today. So next I'm gonna put on the E13s, which should, in theory, be the most stiff wheels we're gonna run today. They're box section wheels, so we're gonna go from the most compliant to the most stiff, and then the Crank Brothers, and then come back to the Zipp, so we have like a well-rounded test. All right, so I just got done with the 2 laps on the E13 wheels. And I would say right away, first corner, they felt way stiffer. I got knocked off my line right away for the first couple corners. And then I got used to them and they felt fast. They definitely were stiff though. I really noticed it through the rock gardens, but also when I was pushing through some corners and some G-outs. The rim was stiffer, allowing the tire to do the compliance. And I actually rolled the back tire a couple times near the bottom there, and a G out, and then on that little jump at the end, I rolled the tire a bit. So definitely something I noticed with the E13s. I'm running 24, 26 PSI on all these wheels, so they're all the same. But I definitely rolled the back on the E13 and I didn't on the Zipp. So that's something I noticed. And yeah, they felt stiffer. I got used to them by the second run. It was fine. I was just ripping full speed, but yeah. Definitely felt a difference. Putting on the Crank Brothers now for the next 2 runs, so we'll see how those compare to the previous 2. All right, so I just finished the pretty much last 2 on the Crank Brothers wheel set. I have a lot of time on the Crank Brothers, so I was pretty familiar with how they're gonna feel right away, but doing this comparison, they definitely fall right in the middle of the 2, kind of how you would think. But yeah, the front's pretty compliant, allows you to hold your line, while the back's pretty stiff. I didn't really have any issues, but I was able to hold my speed. I do think that last run was probably my fastest. I ride this drill quite a bit, so it's not like I've learned it just these 6 laps, but I think it's my fastest. I don't know if it's due to the wheels or due to me being warmed up, but I'm actually kind of feeling it sprinting all 6 laps. So we'll see what the times say, but I think that was my fastest one if I had to guess.
So Liam, that was your take out on the trail riding these things, but you didn't know the times, so let's look at the times. Well, Crank Brothers were fastest. It's unfortunate that you're a human being and you're not scientifically perfect each run. So I don't totally weight these times as everything relevant. I think this test is a little bit more all about feel and opinion, which you kind of gave your thoughts on. Once you saw the times, what was your initial reaction?
I mean, in the video and right after I ridden them, I had thought that Crank Brothers were going to be the fastest, just by the feel. I actually thought the Zips would be like really close because I could hold my line, but I was surprised that the Stiff E13 ended up being, well, I think, third fastest. So I was a little surprised by that one, but it makes sense. They're very stiff, you know, as long as you can stay in control, you're going to go fast on a stiff wheel. But yeah, I mean, that comes down to the times, but opinions are all over the board, you know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think, you know, one thing with carbon wheels, myself riding them, we're close to the same weight. If you're a bigger dude, probably 180 plus, what we call a stiff wheel, if you're 180 plus, might not be a stiff wheel. So therefore, E13 probably makes a lot more sense if you're racing or if you're just looking for something super compliant or if you've had problems with wheels being too stiff in the past. So there's definitely a lot to consider when it comes to carbon wheels and what's stiff and what's not. But yeah, I mean, overall, did you not like any of them?
No, I think they all have their place, you know, they all have their place on the bike, and like, really depends your riding preference, what you're looking for out of a wheel, and then kind of the bike you're on too, because, you know, those all come in, it's a system, they all come in together, and like, it's gonna make you ride a certain way and, you know, help you or not help you. So they each have their place, definitely. And you know, I'd say all day, everyday riding for most riders, the Zips are probably amazing. You can hold your wheel, they're compliant, you know, they feel good. These, as we said, kind of bigger rider, you know, you really want a stiff wheel, you're looking for that. Similar, you know, to like a bigger Envy, really stiff, you know. And then the Crank Brothers are kind of in the middle. They kind of split the hairs, and they're, you know, best of both worlds. You get kind of a stiff rear wheel, compliant front. I felt the fastest on them. I was the fastest on them. So if that has anything to do with anything,
yeah,
the fastest.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, like most stuff in the bike world, there's so much great product out there, and it does boil down to personal preference a lot of the time. None of these are good or bad. There's tons of other great carbon wheels out there, and it does kind of you got to factor in everything. Where are you riding mostly? Is it super chunky rocky trails, or is it more smooth slalom-like trails? Are you 140 pounds or are you 200 pounds? What kind of bike are you riding? There's so many variables involved, so it's definitely important to sort of consider that and factor all that in. And again, it kind of just depends on your preference. Some people really love a super nice stiff wheel like that. That doesn't make it bad, and it doesn't make this light years better because it's compliant, unless you're looking for that, unless you're looking for compliance for a specific reason because you're riding rocky trails or maybe you're racing and it's really important to, like you said, hold that line, especially in like off-camber rocky sections. So definitely cool stuff. Hopefully this brought you guys some value and cleared up some confusion around just carbon wheels in general. Let us know down in the comments if you're riding carbon wheels, if you tried different brands of carbon wheels, and if you notice differences between them and what you think on the carbon wheel topic. And hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.